does our market suck right now? And does the market really suck? Or is it stalling right now? Or is this a normal market that none of the agents that got in the industry the last couple years have ever seen, so they don't know what normal is? It kind of ties back into the fact that you got a lot of buyers out there right now talking about interest rates. Interest rates are 7%. Oh my God, this is so abnormal. I'm not buying right now. When in reality, the abnormal market was the last couple years. The 3%, the 4% interest rates, those were abnormal years. Basically, the 30-year average for an interest rate is about 5.8%. Okay, so if we're at 7 right now, we're actually closer to the 30-year average than we were when we were at 3%. So the last couple years were the abnormal years. Now I get it. If you were a buyer, potential buyer the last couple years, and you decided, hey, I'm gonna hold off and wait. Interest rates, this craziness of multiple offers and paying $30,000 over, I need to back off. I need to sit on the sidelines until the market cools off. Well, you did that, and now interest rates have climbed. And so it feels like this is abnormal because of that time when you were originally buying, but that's the odd time. And you have to come to grips with this, right? Because the market is the market. Rates are the rates. They're gonna go up, they're gonna go down. But I don't think we're ever gonna see something in the low 3s, high 2s like we did a couple years ago. And that's because the Fed was pumping money into the economy to try to keep us afloat through this pandemic and everything else we went through, right? When in reality, it ended up putting too much gas on the fire, and now we've got inflation that's out of control. So until inflation is curbed, we're not gonna see those interest rates really come back down. But I think when we do, when we see something in the 5s or low 5s on the interest rate, we're gonna see potentially another buyer frenzy, because that is going to be the time to jump in for a lot of people that are sitting there waiting right now. So if you've been thinking about purchasing a home, right now might be the right time. Yeah, the rates are a little bit higher, but your competition is lower, right? And if you find that house where the seller really needs to sell, they have a clear motivation to sell that home, there's gonna be more wiggle room on negotiation on price. So you may be able to get them to come off a little bit more. Because if you wait until interest rates come down, you're gonna have 10 more buyers looking for that same house. And you're gonna be in that multiple offer situation again, potentially. So my advice to you is make sure you're thinking about the future of what could be my competition then. Right now I have less. Yeah, my interest rate's higher. Can I refinance later? Absolutely. That's what the smart buyers are gonna do right now. They're gonna look for the deal, purchase the house, and plan to refi later. Okay? And this is how you can win in today's market. Don't sit on the sidelines. I'm telling you, when those rates come back down, there's going to be an increase of buyer demand again. We're getting ready to go into the fall here, where buyer demand typically is lower anyway, right? So if you find a house that comes on the market now, typically a listing agent's gonna tell a seller, wait till spring, there's gonna be more buyers on the market. I'm not a believer in that. I'm in, put the house on the market when you need to sell. Because honestly, we don't know what 6 months from now is gonna be like. If interest rates don't come back down, I don't think we're gonna see a huge jump in pricing. I think we're gonna have a relatively flat 2024 if interest rates don't come down a little bit, because that buyer demand's gonna stay lower. So if you're a seller and you're thinking about selling this fall, it's a great time. Why? Again, less competition. And if you're a buyer, it's still an excellent time to purchase because less competition. The more competition you have, the more heated that market's gonna be, and the more you're potentially gonna have to pay for that property. So if you can find a seller who needs to sell, you're gonna have more wiggle room probably on negotiation. You may be able to get them to buy your rate down. You may be able to get them to pay some of your closing costs, because ultimately they've gotta be wherever they're going to, right? They may have a new construction home being built that's finishing up. You just never know. So in closing, my thoughts for you are: buy when you need to buy, sell when you need to sell. Trying to time the market is a little bit like insane. Like, you're never gonna hit it just right. Like, to time the market at the very bottom, I'm gonna buy at the bottom of the market and then I'm gonna sell at the top. Like, how many people already missed the boat on that? I mean, I'm talking to sellers on the daily right now. They're going, I guess I missed the boat because you're telling me I could have got more last summer. Well, potentially, but what I'm telling you is that you may get the same amount of money that you got last year for your home, but you're gonna need to do more to get that home prepped and ready, because the buyer demand is lower. So therefore, shit isn't selling. Literally, shit isn't selling as fast as it was. People are having to paint their house, fix all the little nitnoid stuff that, like, last year you just put the house on the market, multiple offers. Buying pieces of shit was a normal thing for people to do. Now buyers are saying, I'll still buy a piece of shit, but I will at least want it polished. Right? They want at least some paint. They want at least some closing costs. So, the prices may not be coming down, but seller concessions are going up right now, potentially at different price points. Now, there's certain pockets of the market that are still seeing multiple offers, because inventory is still extremely low in different price points. So, my thoughts for you: buy when you need to buy, sell when you need to sell, refi when the rates drop, but don't miss out on that equity gain you're gonna gain long term as being a homeowner.